Oftentimes as men, we allow the physical representation of a person to
You have no choice but to start writing.
We got our cookies.
Walk through. Welcome, Saints, to the Jay Wells Show. It's time to get real. Let's talk about it.
What's good, Saints? It's your boy, Jay Wells. Look, we're going to talk about a couple things today when it comes to rebuilding your life as a man. I have my own testimony and my own experiences that I've endured as a young man, first of all, adolescent, a young man, a young adult, my teenage years, into my young adult years, and becoming a married man and not fully understanding the severity and the responsibility it takes to be a man. I didn't have the luxury of growing up with my father really expounding and exposing some truths to me when it comes to being a man. Even if he didn't tell me, I didn't have the opportunity to see him with my mother and interact in that form. But I did see him interact with a marriage. And those core beliefs that I took from my father, I introduced that into my life and became a groove in my subconscious mind neurologically. But I want to talk about the rebuilding process, that is formulated into you separating from the man, becoming a separate man, the separated man, I would speak. I'm also writing a book about it. You have to, when you're rebuilding yourself, it's impossible to stay the same. It's impossible to do what you've done before and think you're going to get a different result. It's impossible to have the same mindset. It's impossible. Now you can do it, right? You can have the same mindset that you used to have when you're rebuilding, and you're going to yield the same results. And that's pain, poverty, pollution, procrastination. These are the things that you're going to yield if you're going to stay in the same mindset. What I had to learn over and over and over again, it took me 17 years to learn this in a marriage. 17 years. You know why? Because I was aborting my blessings because of my comfortability on the core beliefs that I grew up with, which subconsciously sabotaged everything that I was doing in my life. Constantly, because I kept the same mindset and I was forcing it, trying and thought I was doing something different with my body, but my mind stayed there because I was trying to go somewhere with the same mindset. I had to change my mindset. Now, I've had several opportunities to change it, but you become engrossed with society and their views on what's moral, what is right. And you feel the pressure of, all right, people are going to talk about me if I do this, or people are going to talk about me if I do that. Look, you cannot care what anybody says or what anybody is doing or what anybody focuses on. You can't care about that. What you have to do is care about what you want. Love yourself enough to know that your peace of mind as a man means everything above all. If you do not have a peace of mind as a man, it's impossible for you to be productive. Oftentimes we give ourselves to our family, we give ourselves to our wife, we give ourselves to our job, and we sacrifice and we sacrifice and we sacrifice and we sacrifice until we've depleted ourselves from our mental peace because we're trying to satisfy everybody else. We're trying to do everything else but give peace and love ourselves. First of all, when you're rebuilding, you have to understand what your purpose is. Most of us know what our purpose is in this life. I don't agree with any man not knowing their purpose. We abort our purpose to please our body, what's comfortable, our flesh, and people. We often abort our purpose to do that. And we settle for the sake of peace, for the sake of wanting to fit in, for the sake of not being badmouthed, for the sake of being the good guy, for the sake of having this image of, yo, I can do it. No. Your righteous mind is telling you to do another thing. But you're so We are so engrossed with what society is telling us that we abort the righteousness of our mind and our heart. God has imprinted it in us, our purpose. Without purpose, you are lost. You are void. You are empty when you're not operating in your purpose. I don't care how fine she is. I don't care how much you getting it. I don't care about she opening her legs. Let's say it like that. I don't care how much she opening her legs. I don't care how much everybody's saying they love you. I do not care how much money that you're making. Man, when you're not doing your purpose, you feel empty because there's something else you have to do. When you feel that inkling of it's something else I got to do, man. It's something else I got to do. And that's rebuilding, right? You have to rebuild your life. And sometimes it's an isolation process. You got to be isolated from everybody else in order to build. You got to focus right here on your mind. Now, I've tried to make it work with my wife. Didn't work. Make it work. Didn't work. Separated for 2 years. I'm feeling all bad. My kids are growing up. I'm not with them. You know what I'm saying? I see them. I talk to them. But hey, let's try to make it work. Boom. Didn't work. I done messed. You know what I'm saying? I had another child, while we were separated and tried to convene and come together. And it was, oh, I forgive you. All right, let's work it out. But soon as the real growth starts to happen, soon as the other stuff starts to happen, things get hard. And then, hey, we're back in the same cycle we was before another child was in the picture. We're back in the same cycle. Because guess what? I went in with the same mind, trying to be peaceful, trying to please, trying to do what it takes. And sometimes doing what it takes does not mean doing what they want. As a man, you must stay on your principle and stay in purpose. Period. Everything else will follow. Stay on your principles and stay in purpose. Everything else will follow, including your habits. Once you stay on your principle and you stay in your purpose, you're going to build habits of principle. You're going to build habits of love, peace, joy to your mind, man. This is aside from anyone else, any chick, anybody, your mama, your cousin, your brother, your sister, anybody. You have to build your mind. That's what I've learned in the last 17 years of my life, especially when you're hitting like 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, bro, your masculinity begins to show itself. That lion begins to roar. I'm telling you, because you've been exposing yourself, you've been doing a little bit of growth on the side, and you know what to do. The lion starts roaring, guys. That lion start roaring. You start to understand that the separated man starts to be separate from the old man. And then there was a line in between. Either you're going to stay right there in the middle or you're going to grow apart. And speaking from experience, I had to separate. That separated man had to separate from that old man. It had to separate and it had to go its own function. It had to go in its own path. It had to be isolated. And sometimes isolation feels lonely, but you're not alone because God lives within you. Greater is he that is in the world. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. People think it's the devil. No. Greater is the spirit that is within you than your flesh, than your body that is in this world. You got to separate. Come on, saints. You got to separate it, brother. And man up. And sometimes along your travels, people are going to drop off automatically. Whatever pressures that you are facing, whatever it is that you are going through right now, be grateful for the hardship. Because this is your opportunity to man up. This is your opportunity to suck up and live. Peaceful state of mind. Begin to operate on your principles. Begin to live doing what God has called you to do. Tap into your purpose and your understanding. Tap into your purpose. Yep, I said it right. And your understanding of who it is that you are. You got greatness in you, brother. And don't let nobody else stop you from being great. Start now. Do not stop. Start right now, this very moment. Now, I'm not telling you to leave your wife. I'm not telling you to leave your girlfriend. I'm not telling you to leave your kids. I'm not telling you to leave your mama. What I'm telling you to do is leave your old self. I'm telling you to leave your old self, because in order to get new results, you have to become who you were born to be. And that ain't who you are right now. You got to become who you want to be, who you desire to be. You got to become that right now, at this very moment. Become it right now. And tap in before you tap out. Peace.